Today's webinar topic is from listing to lease, simplifying rentals with RentSpree and MLS listings. And we're going to cover a couple things today, but we're going to start off first with a quick intro. We're going to dive into the state of the rental market. Then we're going to talk about which tools can help you accelerate your listing to the leasing stage. We're also going to include a product demo today, and then we'll wrap up with the Q&A as Alicia was saying. And my name is Steven Pastores, and I'm a senior client success manager here at RentSpree. Been here since April 2020, and I currently work with over 20 MLSs and associations throughout the Western US. My job is to make sure agents are up to speed on utilizing RentSpree and making sure that you have an understanding about our product. So before we jump in, I do want to mention that RentSpree is totally free for MLS listings members, and you can access your account by scanning the QR code on the left-hand side of your screen. And you can also click on the link here at the bottom, which is rentspree.com/partner/MLS listings. If you log into your pro dashboard, you will also see RentSpree in the drop-down menu. And to create your account, you can enter in your email or you can continue with your existing Google or Facebook account. I'm going to go ahead and leave that up for a couple more moments. You can take the time to scan, but we're going to have some additional opportunities for you to access RentSpree at the end of the webinar here as well. Okay, so let's continue and let's talk about the state of the rental market. So last year, there were 3 times as many renter households forming than homeowner households, and that is showing that the market has begun shifting more and more towards a renter-dominated market. The renter rate nationwide is about 34%, and more Americans are renting than ever before, especially younger Americans. By younger Americans, we're defining those into 2 broad categories: millennials and Gen Z. Gen Z is anyone born between 1996 up until 2010, and millennials are the generation just before, so from the year 1980 up until 1996. Now, here's what's really interesting. The break-even point for owning a property has steadily been increasing, and now it takes up to 30 years for you to break even on that homeowner purchase. So it's been really changing the mindset of a lot of Americans. The American dream used to be you own a big home with a backyard, have a big family, but now things have really changed so much, especially because of the economy and other factors. So more Americans have taken a look at the interest rates. They've taken a look at the home pricing for sale, and they've been realizing that they just don't have enough resources to make an all cash offer, which is often what's required these days, right? You have to pay a huge amount of money at the beginning in order to even have a chance to bid on a property. And that's why leasing is so important these days because more Americans are turning to it as their next home option. So how does RentSpree empower MLS listings users, and how do we help you make the journey from listing to lease much more simple? Well, it starts by providing you with a comprehensive application package. If you're an agent utilizing RentSpree, you're going to realize that our flagship product is tenant screening, which provides you with a fully detailed application package for every renter that applies for your listing. This includes a rental application, a credit report, background check, eviction history, plus our newest feature, which is income verification. The cost of these services is currently $49.99 for the complete package. And because the applicants pay this fee directly to RentSpree, that means that it's entirely free for you to use as an MLS listings user benefit. Also, the reason why we have check marks up on the screen, that's not intentional. RentSpree gives you the freedom to customize the report based on your landlord or property manager's preferences. So if you have a landlord that does not want to include a background check or eviction history, you can deselect those items within RentSpree. So this package is meant to be fully flexible and give you multiple options. Now, I assume many of you are also members of the California Association of Realtors, and because RentSpree has a partnership with CAR, we're able to offer you the CAR lease agreement as well as the rental application for no additional cost. And all you have to do is validate your CR membership one time within RentSpree, and you'll be able to access those state license forms as well. Now, one of the benefits of utilizing RentSpree is that we're the only tenant screening platform that is fully integrated into your MLS. So what that means is that whenever you're adding a lease listing into MLS listings, you're going to see a field called RentSpree online application. And it's a simple yes or no field. It's going to kick off an automated workflow with three simple steps. So number one, you pick yes on the RentSpree field. Step number two, you'll receive an application link for that specific property that you can share with your interested applicants in many ways. So it can be sent via text, email, and it's also going to be automatically added back into the MLS listing itself. So you really get a lot of coverage options there. And then step number three, your clients can apply directly through RentSpree from their computer or from their smartphone. Once they pay and submit the application package, you'll receive the completed result in your dashboard, and you're also going to receive an email notification. Your clients are also going to receive a copy of the report as well, and you will have the option to share the report directly with the landlord or the property manager within RentSpree. Now, some things to note here is that the report does live on the dashboard for 30 days. So you have 30 days to either save the report as a PDF, you can print out a hard copy, or you can do that one-time share with the landlord. However, we do understand that the majority of renters these days are applying to more than one home. So instead of having to pay a screening fee for every single listing, the renter can pay a $15 one-time fee that can make their screening package reusable. So what that means is that they will be able to reuse that existing application and submit it to different listings without incurring additional screening fees for those listings. So we really make sure that we give you a lot of flexibility. And at the end of the day, we also want to make sure that we're saving renters time and money. So let's go ahead and dive into a product demo. You remember at the beginning of the webinar, we had that QR code that I invited you to scan. So I'm going to go ahead and access our co-branded site, which is rentspree.com/partner/MLS listings. You're going to see the MLS listings logo here on the left-hand side of your screen. You will also see the RentSpree logo on the top left. And once you access the site, you are able to request a demo with our team, or you can start screening directly from the site. Now, I already have an account, so I can actually log in directly with my credentials, but I want to highlight this book a demo option. The book a demo option is if you would like to book a screening demo with our team. And this is fantastic because there's not a lot of providers in the industry that offer this level of one-on-one attention. So the calendar is pretty self-explanatory. What you're going to want to do is you're going to choose a day and time on the calendar. And once you book your time slot, you can schedule your appointment. It's going to be a 30-minute meeting. And all you have to do is enter in your name, email, phone number, how you heard about RentSpree, and you also have the option to opt in to receiving informational emails from us. So once you schedule the event, you'll receive a notification once the time slot is coming up. And these meetings are really intended for you to connect with our support team, and they'll be the ones to really walk you through the product from A to Z. So let's go ahead and go back to the top right. And I'm going to click on login. So once I click login, I'm going to be asked to enter in my email. And once I enter in my email, I'm going to click continue. And I'll be asked to provide my password. And then once I click continue once again, that's going to go ahead and drop me into the RentSpree dashboard. So one quick thing to note, if you're accessing RentSpree for the very first time, you will be asked to verify your identity. You may receive a verification code via email. So you're going to go ahead and enter that in, and then you will be dropped into the dashboard. So the dashboard is designed to give you easy access to the features that you need most at that specific time. So if you remember from earlier in the presentation, I mentioned that RentSpree is partnered with MLS Listings to provide you with a integration that gives you the rental application link via email. So, because RentSpree is fully integrated, that means that all the property details from the MLS are going to be synced into RentSpree. So there is no duplicate listing input on our platform. With that being said, if you click on your properties tab, you will see the option to add a property here as well. So if you have a listing that is off MLS for whatever reason, you do have that option to add that property via our own input. But the first thing I would like to cover is the screening tab on the left. So the screening tab is going to show you the list of renters that have applied to each of your active rental listings. So here you will see their email, you'll have the property they applied to, you'll have an update on status, and then you'll have the date of submission. And if you see the little hover icon here, this says that TransUnion reports do expire after 30 days. So you do have that month time frame to take action on the report. Now, on the actions column, you're going to see these three dots called the ellipsis. So if you click on these three dots, you will see four different options. The first two are accept or decline, which means that you can choose to move forward with that applicant or not. And the third and fourth options are set up lease and set up payments respectively. So once you have chosen an applicant to become your tenant, you will be able to continue the RentSpree journey and utilize us for your lease signing, as well as using us as your rent collection platform. Now, for those of you that have already synced your listing from the MLS, or if you're setting up a listing for the very first time, the first thing you'll want to do is if the property is available, you're going to want to screen someone. So you're going to click on the screen tenant button here on the upper right, and you will be asked which property are you screening for. So we're going to either click on one of the properties from the dropdown, or you can also add a new property here. Once I choose my listing and click next, I'll be asked to confirm what's included in each application. So by default, all these items will be chosen for you. But if you click on edit on the upper right, you're actually able to customize the contents of that specific application package. And this is based on whatever you enter in the first time. So whatever you chose for your last listing, that is automatically going to be set for your next listing. So the first choice you'll have to make is your application type, okay? So here, you can choose to use RentSpree standard application, or you can see the second option is the CAR rental application, also known as the LRA form. If you choose the LRA form, you will be asked to verify your membership with CAR by entering in your NRDS ID and your brokerage name. I'm going to go ahead and choose the standard application for now. And then if we scroll a little bit further down, you can choose the contents of the tenant screening report. So in this step, you would choose which screening options you would like to configure for that listing. One thing to note here is that you will not be able to choose the eviction records or the background checks unless you first choose the credit report first. So that actually unlocks these two additional items. One other thing to note here as well is that this information in the tenant screening report itself, it is coming directly from TransUnion. So RentSpree partners directly with TransUnion to source all the information for the credit, eviction, and the background checks. They are our only integration partner. Now, if you scroll a little bit further down, you're going to notice a section called Advanced Verifications. For an additional $10 fee, your applicant will be able to provide you with extended background checks. So it's going to do a little bit of a deeper search into their criminal history if applicable. And it's also going to include reference check emails, which means that RentSpree is going to contact the applicant's employer and landlord to verify their employment and residential history. It also includes income verification, and this is directly through the applicant's bank accounts. So if your applicant would like to proceed with this, they will have the option to log into their account directly through RentSpree securely, and that is going to pull an itemized report of the last 2 years of their income deposits. And this is going to really make your landlord feel at ease because they can see, okay, this applicant has been making about $2,000 every 2 weeks. I feel comfortable with them making sure that they can actually pay for their monthly rent. And then lastly is the document requests. So the document request allows you to have your applicants upload those pay stubs, W-2s, tax returns, etc., if they want to have that route instead of going through the income verification. One thing to note here as well, if you click on customize, you're able to actually customize what the applicant needs to submit. So in this case, you would enter in which documents are applicable for that situation. And once you hit save, once you request the applicant to apply, they're going to see exactly what documents they're going to need to submit for that listing. And then lastly, who pays? Well, I mentioned in the beginning that the applicants normally pay for the screening fee themselves, but RentSpree does give you the option to cover the fee on behalf of the applicant. So this could work out for you if you charge a higher screening fee than what RentSpree charges. You could then ask the applicant to submit the application. They would not incur a fee. And then when it comes time to access the report on your end, that's when you would go ahead and make the payment directly on to RentSpree. So once you click save, you'll be asked one more time to confirm the contents of the application package. And once you hit next, you can invite your renters to apply. And this can be done in three different ways. Number one is if you have your applicant emails handy, you can go ahead and enter them into the white field and hit request application. Option number two is if you don't have a list of applicant emails handy, you simply want to advertise your listing first, you can copy and paste this apply link and put it on your email blast, social media, website, whatever the case may be. And that way the renters can click on it to apply. And then lastly, this is one of my favorite options is this application flyer. And this is perfect if you're doing open houses, showings, meeting applicants in person. If you click on download flyer, you can add a brief description of what the rental criteria is, for example. So here I have that I'm requiring a minimum 650 credit score. I need the income to be 2 times the rent. And if I click on download flyer, that is going to show a print preview of the flyer. And as you can see, it's going to have the property address. It's going to have the listing agent's information. On the left-hand side is what the applicant has to submit. And on the right-hand side is the QR code they can scan to begin applying for the property from their phone. So you can already imagine how much time we're saving is if we print out a stack of these flyers and we distribute them out at a showing, we can have applicants apply for the property right then and there. So it's a huge time saver and creates a lot of efficiency. So at this point, you've already done the hard work. You've already sent the request to your applicants. At this point, all you have to do is wait for them to pay and submit. And if you click on done, that's going to take you back to the property page itself. On this page, you'll have a couple different options. Number one is if you look at the right-hand side, you can toggle applications closed to resume tenant screening. So on this step, you'll be able to actually customize whether you would like the listing to be available or unavailable. So once you've already rented it out, all you have to do is toggle the switch to off, and that's going to show you a quick pop-up asking you if you would like to finalize tenants for this listing, and you can choose the reason why. And then once you hit pause, that's going to close off further applications. Next, once you click on Overview, you will see that you have additional options beyond just tenant screening. Number two is listing syndication. So if you have a listing that you would like to market to additional applicants, you do have the option to check on this switch, and that will allow you to market your listing to a couple of different major listing sites, including Zumper, Hotpads, etc. And that's basically going to give you more exposure for the listing. You will receive an email every time you have a contact that is interested in the listing, which makes it easier for you to follow up with them individually. Next is the lease agreement. So once you have already rented out the listing, the next logical step would be to have the applicant sign the lease. And you can do that through RentSpree by setting up a lease form, which you can upload as a PDF file. And it's very similar to other tools that you may be familiar with. You're going to have to add the different fields to it for signature. You can customize those fields as well. You can save them as a template, etc. But this is available with our RentSpree Pro subscription. So you will have to access RentSpree Pro to unlock this particular digital signature feature. And then lastly is payment collection. So this is another tool that is intended to help you, again, from listing to lease and even beyond. So with payment collection, you can utilize RentSpree and promote it to your landlords as a way to collect the monthly rent and other one-time payments. So if you have a landlord that is requesting a security deposit or a pet fee, you can have your applicant submit those as one-time payments through this feature, and you can actually track any upcoming payments as well. So we've already covered the basics of screening and properties, and I'm going to next cover the payments tool. And if you click on the payments button on the left-hand side, that is going to show you all the upcoming transactions that are related to each of your listings. So you'll see the address, you'll have the tenant that needs to pay. You also have the category of the payment. You will see the due date. You'll have the payment amount, and you'll have a status update. If you are the landlord, this is very important. If you are the landlord, you'll have to add your tax and bank information in order to receive those payments. And you can do that in just a couple of quick steps. So if you click on add information, will see the option to connect your bank account, and that's the account where the money will be deposited into. So RentSpree at this time does not have the ability to split those payments. So if you are collecting commission on the monthly rent, you will have to handle that separately from RentSpree. But this is designed for the landlord themselves. So if you click on connect bank account, they'll have the option to choose the bank from the drop down, or they can actually manually search for the bank there as well. Let's go back to the payments dashboard, and I'm going to click on collect payments because I would like to show you how to enable this for yourself. So let's say I've worked with a tenant and I've successfully placed them into a listing. The next step would be for me to set up a payment schedule so they can make the payments to their landlord using RentSpree. I'm going to choose option number 2. I am working with my client and they are a landlord. And once I click next, I'll be asked to choose which property this payment is for, and then which tenant needs to make the payment. And then once I click next, I'll be asked to enter in my landlord's details, including first, last name, and email. Once I enter in all those details and I click save, I'll be asked to specify what type of payment this is. And it can either be a rent payment or a deposit or other fee. Once you click on rent and you click next, you'll be asked to specify if it's a monthly or a one-time payment. Let's go ahead and enter in the payment amount, $1,800 per month. And let's have it start on, let's say November 1st. If we click on the calendar icon on the next field, and we click on the drop down here next to the year, if we choose 2026, that's going to automatically end the rent on November 1st of 2026. You also have the option to add a quick note here as well. One really cool feature that we have just added in recent weeks is this late fee feature. So if you have any landlords that would like to enable late fees, they're gonna want to toggle this switch to on. And that's going to automatically add a late fee to any recurring payments. So you can choose the grace period here as well. And this late fee can either be a flat amount or it can be a percentage of the total rent. So I can add in, let's say, $100 late fee. And we do have to acknowledge responsibility for keeping those fees within state or lease limits. So make sure to consult with your attorney on that if you have any questions. But once you click next, you'll be asked to review before the payment request is sent to the landlord and the tenant. So in this step, you're going to confirm the landlord email, the tenant's email, and some quick notes to mention here. The funds can arrive in as little as 2 days, and there is a $3 processing fee that is deducted if the tenant pays with a bank account, or a 3% fee is charged if they pay with a credit or debit card. So do keep that in mind. Once you hit send request, that's going to send off a automated notification to both the landlord and the tenant, and they will then have to go through the steps of setting up their account if they haven't done so already to begin receiving those automated payments. Next item I would like to cover is the contacts tab. So the contacts tab is a database where you can easily track your clients within RentSpree. So every time you have a tenant applying for your listing, they will be logged into your contacts. And this will also log your landlords and property managers. But the goal of this is to really help you maintain a relationship with the renter even after they have moved in. It's super critical because you want to make sure that your renters don't feel left behind throughout the time that they're living at the property. If they have any questions, they're going to feel more comfortable going back to you if you start to maintain that relationship after you place them into a property. Some quick things to note here is that you will have the option to add contacts individually, or you can also import contacts from an existing list, which can be an Excel or a CSV file. Now, the last icon on the dashboard I want to cover is the marketing tab. If you click on professional profile, you will be dropped into your branding page. And the branding page is where you will have the option to build out a professional page that can highlight your expertise and focus areas. And it's also designed to showcase any of your active listings. So if you have any active rentals that are available, your renter can view your page and they say, okay, I want to work with this agent. Oh, these are some rentals that he has or she has active. I can actually go ahead and apply to those rentals directly from this page. One thing I would like to mention here as well, if you notice this review section here at the bottom, it has a pro icon next to it. This is available if you subscribe to the RentSpree Pro subscription, which is currently $19.99 per month. So with Pro, you will be able to unlock unlimited reviews for your agent profile. So every time you have an interaction with a renter through RentSpree, they're going to be asked to leave you a review. So once you subscribe to Pro, those reviews will start appearing on your profile. It's going to help you build credibility and trust. And that can have a huge boost to your business and help you stand out a little bit more. And because I did cover RentSpree Pro briefly, let me show you how to access that. So you're going to click on your profile icon on the upper right. And the second option on the dropdown is called Manage Pro. So if we click Manage Pro, you're going to see that there are two options, the RentSpree Basic option or the Pro option. So everything that I've covered so far in the presentation is included with your basic package. If you would like to upgrade to the Pro package, which you do save some money if you do the annual plan, that's going to unlock unlimited income verification reports, doc uploads, auto reference checks, e-sign documents, agent reviews, and priority phone support. Pro is designed for high volume leasing agents. So if you do have about 10 to 15 renters a month that you work with, then it could make sense to upgrade to Pro. But if you're only working with rentals occasionally, then it does make sense to just go ahead and stick with the basic package. But it is available for you to try anytime. I do encourage you to test out the 30-day free trial to see if it's worth the recurring investment. And then one last thing I want to mention here is that if you saw everything today and you liked it, I do encourage you to share the news about RentSpree with your fellow industry professionals. If you click on your profile picture, the third icon from the top is called Refer and Earn. If you click on this, you will have the option to enter in the email of any of your industry colleagues. And if you click Send Invite and they sign up for RentSpree and screen at least one tenant, you can choose a gift from our industry partner, Snappy. So it's a nice incentive for you to consider sharing the news about RentSpree with your colleagues. So that wraps up the demo portion of our presentation, and I'm going to go back to our slideshow. And I would like to again offer you the opportunity to scan the QR code if you didn't get a chance to in the beginning. Quick reminder, this will take you directly to our co-branded site, which you can also access directly from the Pro dashboard on MLSListings.com. And again, to create your account, super easy. All you have to do is enter in your email, password, or you can use your Google or Facebook account. And before we open up to questions, or actually, please ask questions. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and drop some support resources into the chat. Number one is support@rentspree.com. That is our email hotline. And if you would like to reach out to us via phone, I'm going to go ahead and drop in our support hotline, which is 323-515-7757. So those are two different ways you can reach out to our team. We're always here to help. We can help you in any language. If you're an English speaker, Spanish speaker, Mandarin, whatever the case may be, please contact us if you have any questions or even feedback. If you would like to see something added to RentSpree, we're all ears. We're here to support you. So I do encourage you to talk with us, see what we can improve and add on.
Make sure to check out our Pro Support page for additional videos on a full range of topics. And don't forget to click that subscribe button on our MLS Listings YouTube page.